Dreamers, doers, and rule breakers. People who try new things, take risks, and break the mold. Wins or stumbles, that's how the world shifts. This is How It Shifts.
Welcome to another episode of How It Shifts. Today on the topic of rethinking how we collaborate with AI. My name is Tina Bieber and my guest today is Guillermo Espinola. I almost said it right. I said it right. The founder of Xipe Technology and Silo. And I'm very, very happy to have you here today. So, hello.
Hello, Tini. It's my pleasure to be here. It's always great to speak with you.
Yes. And we have so many topics to talk about, right? And today's topic is in particular intriguing, I think, because we live in times where there are so many AI tools out there, so many, I don't know, it almost feels like they're being thrown at us and it's like, oh, they make your work better, they do this and that to you, and they just make your life so amazing. Well, is that the truth? And is it really that easy? We will dive into that today. But before we do that, Guillermo, please tell our audience a little bit your story, who you are, and why are we here?
Well, thank you. I am terrible at this, but I am a software developer. I started coding since 16, and I really like the title of software developer or programmer instead of entrepreneur, for example. Entrepreneurs are people who are, I don't know, making business, and if something changed, they can change to another thing and pivot. I can't. I am a software developer. Whatever I will do is to stick to the programming or the software or solving things with software. So that's why I present myself like that, and I really like it. This is I love how software building have evolved in time, and now with the AI, I'm seeing this golden era for software development coming up, and even for programmers who, I don't know, right now there is a feeling of challenging the status quo of the programmer because the AI will take your job, and maybe it will be, maybe it happens, and that's fine. It's part of the evolution of the profession. So that's my point of view, and I built this company Xipe back in 2018 in the city of London, actually, but most of our operation is have been happening in Mexico, especially after the pandemic when I came back to Hermosillo, and we start growing from here since then. What else can I tell? I really love to build stuff. In holidays, I turn my office into a carpenter studio, and I love to make wood stuff, building houses for my kids or tables or chairs or whatever. So I like to build stuff. I don't know, that's me, someone who likes to build software and build furniture. As simple as
And I think a lot of people would argue, and would describe you 100% as an entrepreneur, coming up with all these kind of ideas all the time, building, creating. And yes, a lot is around software. And I got to work with you guys a couple of years ago, and it was such a pleasure. And everybody at Xipe is just I don't know, all these amazing minds. And I think you and Patty built something pretty amazing with all these people. So that just had to be said. So you have something written on your LinkedIn profile, and I was like, okay, Guillermo, you're coming up with all these words all the time. We need to talk about that. Not everybody speaks your language. What the heck is a meta programmer?
Okay, metaprogramming is a technique for programming. Is when you use programs to write programs, and you can consume the code or the source code from another program as data for your program and build something different. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
making a program to build a program instead of just building the program. That's the very basic of metaprogramming. And it makes a lot of sense when you realize that all the software in the world is the same software. Basically it's the same. You can change formulas here, inputs here, outputs there, but it's exactly the same. So when you have 10 years developing software, you realize that every program you are typing over and over again the same code for different purposes. So I decided to start exploring the possibilities of metaprogramming to make my life easier, and that fits perfect with the language models when they appear, because I said, okay, if these things can type for me, saving a little bit of the context, that would be great. Because the problem of metaprogramming is that once you write something, it's very rigid, and then you need to start adding extra
Mm-hmm.
layers of generic programming, or I don't know, another algorithms that will help you to impact more cases at the same time with the same code. But with the LLMs, you can simply make the variations in the source code and get a new result. So that's metaprogramming, and that's why it becomes relevant again in 2024 and beyond.
So tell us a little bit about your relationship to AI and how that disrupted your work.
Okay, I am very critic about AI. AI is not what they said that AI is. There's not such a thing like a AI in a cage or something like that, evolving and doing stuff. AI are a bunch of algorithms that you can use for different stuff. AI is the art of emulating human capabilities with a computer. So, but isn't so what we call AI right now is just the language models. I know there are several um, algorithms out there like vision, or I don't know, speech to text. All that algorithms are part of the AI ecosystem. But street level, we call AI to the things that speak, like ChatGPT or cloud or whatever. So when I see
Mm-hmm.
it, automatically, I felt the automatic rejection of any programmer. Like this thing is okay, it's impressive, but this thing will not code like me. I am a genius, but after giving a double thinking, second thought, um, I
Yeah.
realized that the language models are great interfaces for communication, even if they don't develop the capability to build code perfectly, which they did. But in the early stage, I realized that it's a great opportunity to make real inclusivity, to build software very inclusive for people who can't text. I don't know, disabled people who can text. Now they can speak more fluid, and instead of speaking in uh, and I don't know, a lot of user interfaces, very creative, that we can create with this thing, and that's a win. So I decided to start exploring instead of
Mm-hmm.
just rejecting it. Then I saw options like Debian, Windsurf,
Right.
and I said, okay, this is cool, but they are missing the most important part of software development, which is collaboration. Now they are tools for individuals, and that's where I feel they didn't they didn't solve the problem. Actually, they didn't solve anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's super interesting because I think the time we live in is already like we're getting increasingly disconnected from each other, right? And the workplace, for example, is such an important place to actually create connections, nurture relationships and all that, because it's just also good for us as human beings, right? So this human component, it feels like it's like on the downfall in a way, like this human connection, and that AI is kind of like accelerating that with all these amazing tools that make it possible that you don't have to collaborate anymore, but you can do everything asynchronous. You can do everything like, you don't have to be in the same room. You don't. And I'm like, but how is that, if we keep nurturing that, how is that going to help us in the future, right? So what's your take on that?
Yes, I think that the problem is not the AI. The problem started many years ago with the work from home, remote work, all that thing. I don't believe in that. I have people who in my team who work remotely, and I can tell they are great people, but there is nothing compared when they are working apart compared when they are in the office in the team. People choose their lifestyle. That's the problem. But the isolation comes in the way we see the work. We separate ourselves from what we do, and I agree, it's fine. You are not your work. However, you can't make your work without putting yourself into it, or you will be a machine. If you don't I don't know, impregnate yourself in the work you're doing. You are just a machine, and you will be replaced by a real machine at some point. So the problem of isolation doesn't come from AI. It comes from the way we decide to live many years before. AI is just accelerating our decisions. And the reason in software development specifically, the reason that the software development is slow is because you have one mind creating something with his own context, and you have then the other part of the team building their own thing around the same thing, But everybody has his own view. So when you try to put the pieces together, you start struggling, and that's the problem of software development. Is where the slowness is, the slow part is. And if you add AI right now, you have these people working isolated, super fast, but isolated again. When you try to put things together again, you will struggle the same. Maybe faster, but not better. And you would make more iterations to solve the same thing. At the end, you did a lot of code that doesn't work because it doesn't fit, and you spend exactly the same time making it working together again. So from my perspective, what we need to do is to create a source of truth, and the AI should be this context keeper. Instead of developers using AI like a robot arm to build super fast, this is like the oracle of the project. It knows everything about the project, and you can ask, hey, what is our stage? What are we building? What do you need? What is missing? And the AI should give you a context. Hey, we built this part of the project. We need to build X, Y, Z, and we need this information. So you can provide it, or you can solve the ambiguity in the context and let the AI to write the code. Just take a look. If it's according to the architecture, if it's good, let it pass. And the way we need to change our mind in software development is that instead of we are humans telling computers what to do, now is we're humans asking computers for a possibility to solve what we just described. So the computer will drop to us statistically the most correct solution, and we can accept it or reject it. So this is a different mental exercise with the computer. It's not me abstracting the reality, dropping it into a keyboard. It's me abstracting the reality and asking for a infinite source of code base. How can I solve this? and that machine will start giving me options, and I just will take what I like, or which I know, or which I feel comfortable. And it's not less, you're not less smart because of accepting that you're now evaluating possibilities instead of choosing one and creating it. So that's how I see it.
And you have built something called Diana or Diana.
Diana.
And Diana, okay. And I just talked to your colleague, and she was like, I couldn't, like, Guillermo was talking about whatever he had built there, and I was like, yeah, interesting, but let me try it. And then I was like trying it, and I was like, shit, this guy knows his stuff. And I'm like, okay, so I want to know. So tell me, what have you built, for what purpose, and how did it get there?
Diana is that assistant or guardian for the code, but this is and it encouraged the collaboration of the team. That's the part that I really love, is the first collaboration, first AI tool for software development, and it starts with the way we see, again, where we see how we see AI. For example, if you have 5 developers teams and you pay the license for each one of them for an AI, so now they are isolated with their AI, collaborating less and working more. So you will struggling exactly the same or more to put more code together. As I said, in Diana, is you have an AI above the project, and it's not in the developers. So developers join Diana to interact with the same AI in the same conversation, in the same context with everyone. And we are creating a way to eliminate the Jira task cards or something like that, instead of building a bunch of the cards that you will assign this for Tini, assign this for Andrea, or whatever, like I don't know, like an overlord supervising of the project. What I want to do is, okay, this is what we need to do. This is our backlog. This is what we need to build. People will take it. You can't assign tasks to the people. People will take it because they understand, or they believe that they understand that part. And with the Diana companion, they will build something very accurate to what their partners are building in the other part of the software, because you have this thing watching you and watching the other developer and keeping the context aligned. Hey, you're writing services like this, but in the other part of the software are written like this, or you're missing the interface. Okay, so instead of you typing everything different, Diana will fix it and put it in the same symphony. Everybody will be noticed about the changes and what Diana is building, so everybody can make a review. But at the end, you have a single point of contact with the code base, and that's the difference. A lot of people collaborating, providing information, providing context, understanding the customer, understanding the solution, and a single point of contact with the code, which will keep quality.
How many people are working on one project? Like, just like if we have an example case right now.
Well, it depends. For example, I've seen companies hiring developers in Mexico, in India, and you have I don't know, 40 developers working together in the same project, which sometimes is necessary, but always will be slow. The more you grow the team, the slower you develop, but you cover more surface, so it's a contradiction. I always believe that small teams deliver better and deliver faster, but that changed from one mind to another, and it's fine. What I expect is to having small teams, again, of 3-4 developers, not necessarily developers, members with the domain information, with the clarity of what are they building, and an AI to build it. So
Mhm.
that's how I see the evolution of any software development team. Small teams with AI who types.
And how was it traditionally? Like you just had like a product manager or something that tried to overlook this team?
There are many schools for that. There are many methodologies. We had this agile frenesy of people trying to build everything with agile teams, and we have the people who defend waterfall, and the way people organize themselves is different. In is different always. So but the
Mhm.
basic structure, yes, is you have an account manager, you have a project manager or scrum master, or call it however you want, and then the technical team who built the stuff, and then the feedbacks go again. Methodologies try to eliminate middlemen and try to put developers with customers as close as possible, and sometimes it works, sometimes not. But at the end it's the same, because somebody in the developers take the role of the project manager, maybe not with the title, but is the person who speak more. There is always one in a team. So at the end, even if you remove that positions, naturally they emerge again. So that the idea is, okay, let's let that part alone. Let people communicate how they want. Where the problem is how we put all those ideas in a repository to build a software that solves the needs. And that's what I am working with Diana. Is people will gather information, gather feedback from in the best way they can, if they want to be with a project manager or if they want to make it in an agile way. But at the moment of putting everything into the system to define what are we building is where AI enter in action and try to solve it. Propose
Is
a
there
solution.
any resistance?
A lot, a
Yeah,
lot of
no,
resistance.
because of, I mean, like it also means that everything is out of the sudden very transparent, right? Like everything when I'm coding, the speed I'm doing stuff, the tool, I don't know, whatever I'm working with is out of the sudden very out there because it's kind of like screened by one agent in a way, right?
The I don't know, the bigger resistance I seen this far, curiously, is not from project managers. They feel very
Mm-hmm.
comfortable adding stuff to Jira. Now they can add that stuff to an AI. It's fine. But developers, they feel that their value is undermined if they are not typing it
Mm-hmm.
all the code. So most of the resistance comes always from the developers, and they say lies such as, "I spend more time doing simple things with AI than do it manually." My answer is always, do it manually. If you are faster than that, do it manually, but use the tool when you are not fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. It's like, okay, you have a car, and the car is faster than you, yes, but sometimes for short distance, due to the traffic and the lights and whatever, it's better to walk to some place. You walk.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's not like, no,
Yeah,
I have a
exactly.
car, I need to go in a car to everywhere. No, the AI is exactly the same, but they are not speaking about real speed or real trouble that the AI is causing. Is they are just defending the way they have been working from the very beginning. So when they say, I am faster than the AI doing this, they are taking an isolated case where they are and ignoring all the rest. So my answer is always, do by hand what is faster of doing it by hand, and do with the AI what is faster than it with AI. So
Mm. But I mean, at the core of it is, of course, like reimagining this entire role of programming, right? Because there is now this disruptive, we live in these disruptive times, but as a developer, and you have done this, I don't know, for a really long time, like there's also a piece of identity part of it, right? Like you don't necessarily like want to give that away. So it actually requests for a lot more skills than just
Typing.
fulfilling your roles.
And
Yeah.
that, something very important that I always want to say is that it's not the same. Programming, coding, and software development are three different monsters. Programming is telling the computer what to do.
Okay.
Coding is writing the instructions for the computer. And developing software is doing both of these things in time, for a long time. And there's when we speak about the scalability of the code. I can be a great programmer telling the computer what to do, and I can use a batch, I can use JavaScript, any simple language like those, or I can use a real coding language like I don't know, Java, C#, any object-oriented programming. But if I want to make it last, I need organization, I need collaboration, I need understanding, I need adaptability to changes. It's different. It's different. It's not just about writing the code or telling the computer what to do. So, at the end, it's not changing our role. We are still the guys telling the computer how to do it. But now we don't care about the syntax. We just take care of it. Okay, seems good. Perfect. And the coding languages will evolve, because something that nobody speaks about is that the coding language is not designed for the computer, it's designed for us. It's a way that humans can interact with the computer, designed for humans. If we can ask a computer, hey computer, how do you want me to tell you what to do? The computer will answer you in binary, please. But that is not cost efficient for me and my life is limited. Okay, then use that monkey language of you're using, this coding language. And that's the reality. With AI, coding languages will evolve, and that's something that I have played around with Diana, because C# has this open source compilator called Roslyn, and it has a lot of advantages if the LLM can interact with the compiler directly, instead of just reading the code and trying to make an interpretation of it. When ambiguity appears, Diana goes to the compiler and make the clarification and keep working faster and with less token consumption than just relying on the source code. So with this experiment, I can foresee how the coding languages will evolve. We will still have parser, compilers, and whatever, but the syntax will change dramatically in the future, because we will no longer need it to be that clear or to be that specific. We have now this extra layer of communication, which is the LLM. I don't know. Let's see how it evolves. But my bet is that coding languages will change.
That is also not just coding, right? Because I feel like different kind of AIs are being used in many different kind of areas. Like that's marketing, sales, I don't know, design, and kind of like all of it. And I feel like nowhere there is a real collaborative approach either, right? And how does it work like outside of the development team also? Like because if you have a client, you don't just only work with your development team on a product, right? So how would Diana then be in action?
Well, Diana is limited to the coding part. Honestly, I am not pretending to solve
At this point.
At this point, yes, I'm not pretending to solve all the information flow in my work. I just trying to make good code with with good structure, and I don't know. I'm focusing on that. However, what I see in marketing is that humans, our brain is wonderful, and I'm 100% sure that now you read something in LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn, or anywhere else, and you will say, okay, this is GPT. This is this is built with an LLM, and the reason is that they have great syntax, but they don't have a good semantic. They they can put words together that sounds like something, but when you start questioning, hey, what do you mean with this word and with this other word, it collapses, it crumbles. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if for a deeper communication, for something different that maintaining a context, I don't know if LLMs are good enough. So when I see marketing made with I can see great ads like the videos, animations. Yes, that saves timing. Instead of making frame by frame something, now the AI can help you. That's good. But I am 100% sure that the script and the idea is made by humans. So that's my point of view
I mean,
of
oftentimes it feels like almost soulless, right? Like the soul is missing, and I see a lot of times creativity is really lacking. Compared to when I see great artists in the field of design or also communication and experienced designers, what they're putting out there in the world, you cannot right now actually duplicate with AI, right? It's like it's a deeper communication on a soul level, so to say, right?
Do you know or have you seen this ad of a beer that is a robot making the job faster than any human, and then go to the gym and start doing it, running faster than any human, but then walking the robot to the street,
Yeah.
turn his head to a bar, and he see people enjoying a beer. So the robot see that and it's useless for me, and keeps walking.
Exactly.
So at the end, the advertising said, it doesn't matter if you can't experience it. And that's,
Huh.
or it only matters if you can experience it. And that's life.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's life.
Yeah.
Robots can emulate everything, but they can't experience it. And if they can share the experience,
Hmm.
well, they are very limited. And I don't know if in the future they will find a way to share experience, but that experience will be meaningful only for them because we feel differently. We we um, we know reality and we explore reality in a very different way than a robot. So any experience they develop, if that happens, uh, will be meaningless for us. Exactly the same than our
Mm-hmm.
experiences to them. And it happens with other animals. We can
Exactly.
relate very easy with animals, uh, in which we reflect our emotions. We see a dog, oh, he's sad. Oh, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
know how it feels. But if you see a fish, it's like you don't
Mm-hmm.
know if he's sad, if he's sick. It's like
No.
it's different. It's difficult to
No, it's
connect.
very subjective.
So that we
Yeah.
robots.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's very subjective, and I guess we're just opening the Pandora box, right? To see what's gonna be happening during the next couple of years or even months. Where do you think we're headed? Like, how do you paint the future right now in your field, but also beyond?
I don't want to make this conversation political, but the future is more about politics than the AI. It's how we use the AI. It's how we create opportunities for everyone. It's how we organize ourselves again. If we take anything in a selfish way, we will create silos and we will create more division and fragmentations in the population and the society, and more benefits for a very few people. AI is not causing it, is not is not different from any other tool. So I see the future. I'm very optimistic about it. I see the future where people will start organizing themselves differently, despite the government, despite the big framework we live in. We will start seeing small communities popping out and and thriving. Some of them will fail, and that kind of experiments in the long term, we will change the way we organize and the way we live. But in the short term, in our lifespan, I see that we will live a life of experimentation. A lot of experiments here and
Hmm.
there, some of them good, some of them bad, but and we need to have a very open mind to tolerate the new experiments, and to be very open mind to see the results and adopt what is working from other parts of the world. And maybe that those experiments can sound like something super closed or super exclusive or super whatever, because it's an experiment. You can make a global experiment from one idea. So it's just tolerance. You need, you know, it's okay. They are doing that. Sounds like something exclusive that will let a lot of people out. Okay, but it's an experiment yet.
Hmm.
So what can I do in my field? What can I do with my people? What can I do in my community? It's another experiment. I can't involve anyone. It doesn't mean
Hmm.
that if you like it, you can replicate it. So some of them are designed to be not replicated, but we're very creative. So
I love
if
this.
it works, we will find a way.
Yeah,
That's
but I
that's the
think
future.
that's and that makes completely sense. I completely resonate with that because if we stop discovering, if we stop experimenting, like what is there, right? There's nothing. And I think it's paired with a level of hope and a level of faith to keep doing
And
that
a level
again.
of
Like,
fear, because fear is there
well, I
too,
mean,
and it's
yeah,
not bad to accept it.
of course. Yeah, and I mean like how to deal with fear, right? Because most of the time fear is holding people back to experiment because there's a illusion of safety. But the safety, I mean, it's no reality. It's just nothing is safe in that world. And
No.
when you just stop and you stop experimenting and you stop practicing this muscle of experimentation, right? No, I completely agree, and also like it's so important to do it in every field because that brings innovation again. Because failure brings learning, and just like taking this kind of fear away from people to say, hey, failure is fine. We need it to learn. Like, what would you recommend people to do also in terms of how to collaborate with AI? Because I feel there's still a lot of fear out there for people to actually really engage with AI.
My advice would be use the share button in the conversations. Most of the language models have this share button in there. If I am sharing my conversation with you, and we can participate, or at least understanding how my ideas built with AI are being built, or where are they coming from, you will understand better my context. No, you will be part of the process,
Mm-hmm.
not only the final result. And it's as simple as that. Share the conversation. Share. Don't create silos on your AI. This idea of intellectual property or whatever we have is just fear and selfishness. If you're building something with the people you like, with your community, share the AI, share the context, share the history, share how the ideas have been built. And there are a lot of experts telling you a lot of complicated stuff. Just share the fucking conversation. This is what you need to do. Is how do you share, or how do you involve more people in the office? You speak with them, you invite them to the conversation. How do you involve with more people in any sport, any whatever? It's by speaking, sharing the conversation. If you have isolated conversation, you will have conspiracy. You know what they are seeing, what they are saying, whatever they are planning against us, whatever. If you are open, it belongs to everyone. So if you are not speaking about something, I don't know, very private, and it's something about the work, make the conversations with AI public too. So the problem is that everybody will read our prompt. Really? It's like, really? Are you prompting this? And then the expert will come and tell you, no, the best way to build a prompt is like this, blah, 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 a lot of the prompt engineering, whatever. It's bullshit. It's like SEO. It never exists.
But what you're saying is like is so important, Guillermo, because practicing to share is practicing collaboration, right? And that is actually like practicing a muscle that is not just like doing this, but you are actually also practicing a complete different kind of mindset and how you look at the world. And there we go back to, it's the intention you put into your programming. It's the intention you put into, I mean, like that's the basis of why Diana is there, because your worldview is in there and what you think of the world, how you see the future, how you want to see the future for our children and everything like that, right? It's like a whole different mindset than a lot of other people potentially have in today's world, right? Hint to politics.
And this is about, I've seen a lot of people speaking about AI, and I see the tools like the Google tools, anti-gravity, and all these are outstanding pieces of engineering, of crafting, but they're using it in a very empirical way. So I have something that I type, and then it gives me something back. So what I need to do is to preserve this. What I need to do is to build on this for me. So it's the typical way that when you find something new, and instead of showing, hey, look what I got, you take, oh, this is for me. So those tools are built, are solid, but they are built in a very empirical way. The first idea that came to my head, and then I built it. Instead of, hey, chill, how can we solve the real problem? The real problem is not slow typers in coding. The real problem is communication, is context, and you have something super interesting because it's understanding context, organizing context, or clarifying context, or whatever. But it's working on a context, or over a context. So after the second thought, you realize that the problem is not the speed of typing, but the communication stuff. That's why I built Diana.
Yeah, amazing. Well, how can people find you, Guillermo? And to potentially try Diana, and just get to you.
They can find me on X with my nickname, Innoversi83, or in LinkedIn, Guillermo Espinola. But if you follow me in LinkedIn, is your advice. You will not. Maybe you don't like what you will see there, but it's fine.
Perfect.
A lot of people get mad with my LinkedIn.
I don't. No. You guys should definitely follow Guillermo on LinkedIn and get all the information you need about AI and beyond.
And if you want to try Diana, just send me a message, and it's fine.
Thank you so much, Guillermo. Our conversation is going to continue for sure, as usual. And it was a real pleasure having you today as a guest. And thank you.
Thank you, Tini. Have a good evening over there, and say hello to the family.
I will. You do the same.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.